This is car 54 reporting in service. Starting mileage 6428. 6428. Officers Perkins and Walter with police reporter Don Reed. Patrolling Central District. Tour of duty 6 p.m., 2 a.m. on the night watch.
Check 54. Mileage 6428. Patrolling Central District. 6:04 p.m. Starting night watch.
Night watch. For the first time through the medium of radio, the actual on-the-scene report of your police force in action. Every sound, every voice you are about to hear is real, and you are listening as it happens. Night watch. Presented with the cooperation of the Police Department of Culver City, California. We take you now to car 54 on its tour of duty, and to police recorder Don Reed.
Just checking our log at 6:31 p.m. this date, we took a stolen car report and arranged transportation home for the victim. 7:32 p.m. assisted West Los Angeles police at the scene of a traffic accident. Cleared 8:22 p.m. It might be interesting to note...
All units in the vicinity. At 2091 Hazleton, that's 2091 Hazleton, a 459 there now. Unit 54 handle the call. Code 2.
54, Roger, we're rolling. Well, there's our call. And a reported 459. That means a burglar. A burglar is in the house and has been cited by some citizen or perhaps even the victim. We don't know. We have no further information on it. And we're taking off and moving as rapidly as conditions allow into the area. Now, code 2, is which we are running, means we just have our red light on. We're not using a siren for quite obvious reasons. We don't want to tip off our presence. Our red light is pushing a few of the vehicles that are in front of us over. But still, again, there's a lot of people who don't see the red light or not watching for it. And, of course, we have to go rather carefully at times because we can't depend that they're going to definitely move over as the law requires. Now, one thing in particular that I can feel as we're running in here on these last few seconds, I can feel the tension that has suddenly come over the car. I know I personally feel it. A moment ago, we were cruising along, the conversation was casual, and suddenly comes this call, a burglar, which in the terminology of the police department, of course, is a 459. When this call came through, I could feel the tension mount. The officer suddenly squared away in the seat. There was an adjustment of equipment. You can feel the tension come over, although actually nothing has been said particularly, because what we're going into, no one knows. There's no way to determine just exactly what to expect. The words of a veteran officer sort of come to my mind right at the moment. He always said, just remember one thing, always go and be prepared for the worst, and you'll never be taken by surprise. I think that probably is very good advice. We're coming into the area now where the burglar has been reported. We've traveled perhaps, I'd say, 2.5 to 3 miles since our call was originally received. Our car is now watching for the street. We'll turn off to the right when it happens. As a matter of fact, this is it, I believe, up ahead. Our red light has been turned off now. We're in second gear, slowing down. No, apparently this is, yes, it is too. This is the street. And now our car lights have gone off. We're driving completely in the dark. The officers are watching both sides of the sidewalk to see if we can see any person at all of suspicious nature. And this apparently is the house right off to the right. I noticed the officers observing. And we're coming in now, moving out as quietly as possible. The officers are getting out of the car, and we'll be right along behind them. Going up the walk as I'm talking. Up on the front porch, there's a gentleman who is motioning the officers into the house. Let's move right on in. Standing across from me in the bedroom door is a middle-aged woman clutching a bathrobe to her throat and appears to be in a very highly nervous condition. The officers are questioning her about the prowler. Let's move right on over.
Whoever he was, he came in, and I went into the bathroom, and he was in this room, and I thought it was my daughter. And then I was in the bathroom, and he walked right in the bathroom, and I went to go out, and he gave me a shove. And I started screaming. Naturally, then my husband ran out of here, and my daughter just came in. Mm-hmm. See? And he was gone by the time she came back in.
Could you tell me, what did he look like, ma'am?
He was taller than you was, because he pushed me, and he had a white shirt on and a tie.
Was he a young man, old
Yes,
man?
he was a younger man, and he was drunk because he had alcohol in his breath, you know, and when he went to shove me, I screamed, and he wasn't going to let me out of the bathroom, you know. And whenever, as soon as he pushed me, then I noticed he had gray trousers and a white shirt and a tie, and he was taller than you are. He was a younger fella, you know.
Did he leave in a car?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how he left. I just know I yelled whenever he pushed me, and then my husband came out, he was in the den, and she just came in after that, so he was already gone by the time she got back. He must have come in this room first and dropped his coat. I don't know whether he knew these houses or whether he mixed them up. They don't that much alike.
Oh, we found a coat. The officers discovered a coat with a name in it, and unquestionably, I'm moving out of the house now as I'm speaking, and that was the mother of you. Heard the description of it. I'm moving away now, and unquestionably we will go on an investigation and determine just who and what this man is. The officers now are checking to see if he is still in the neighborhood. Right now, we'll move back to our car. Here in our police car again, and I've just been informed by one of the officers that while we were in the house on this investigation, Control 1 has received a second prowler call just a couple of blocks from here, as a matter of fact. Another car has been dispatched to that location, so...
and all units in vicinity. At 2036 Evergreen, we're holding a prowler there now. 5-4, this may be your 459 suspect wanted on your present call.
5-4, Roger.
Well, this very possibly is a tie-in somewhere on that case. But where is that, Sergeant?
It's right down at the end of this block, Don. I think it's a house there with a light on it, right at the corner.
Right, check. We're coming to a stop now. And sliding in, our lights are out. We're skidding into a stop. And now let's get out with the officers and determine exactly what's happening. This very possibly...
He's right there, officer. Okay, thanks.
Yes.
Come on, Don.
Following the officers on into the house now, as we're going into the main room. And this very possibly may be the suspect that we're looking for. He is in the bedroom, or rather the bathroom, of a private home. The officers are in with him, and he is standing in the nude at the present time. The officers have called for a blanket. He's putting up quite a fight about this whole thing. And I'll see if I can move in there. I can't quite get near enough to him now to pick up his voice. Because, as I said, the man in this case, the suspect, is completely nude, and they are throwing a blanket around him.
All right, fellow, you've been placed under arrest. Let's go.
Well, the prisoner is being escorted out of the house, and I'm tagging along behind now as I'm speaking. He is handcuffed with just a blanket pulled up around him. Outside of the door now. The prisoner is being placed in the back seat of Unit 50 with an officer guarding him. Well, that means for us, next stop, police headquarters. It's 10:05 p.m., and I'm standing here at the booking desk in the Culver City Police Station. The suspect was positively identified by two of the victims a few moments ago. The suspect is being brought out of the detention room now. You probably can hear the cell door open, and two of the officers are directing the prisoner toward the booking desk. And incidentally, he is still handcuffed, and his only clothing is that blanket pulled around him. Sergeant Perkins is about to book the prisoner.
What happened tonight?
What happened tonight?
Yeah. How'd you get involved?
Chapter, his name is Murphy. Your sergeant's name is I don't know what. Add the two together and you'd have how I got involved.
How'd you get in that house down there?
The house belonged to me, Sergeant.
How about the other two houses?
They too belong to me, Sergeant.
You own the property, do you?
Indeed I do.
Where are your clothes?
It's a very good question. Ask the sergeant here, or the officer.
When we found you had no clothes at all.
I beg your pardon?
When we found you had no clothes
On the
at all.
contrary, I had a pair of trousers and a pair of shorts when the officer here found me.
Well, I was with the officer when he came in the place.
Oh, in
You were
here?
in the bathroom. No, I don't mean here. I mean in the bathroom of that house.
Officer, may I ask you a question? Have you ever, in your house, this is your own individual house, ever gone to the bathroom without your trousers on?
Sure, in my own house.
Right. That house in which this particular officer and officer, was it a sergeant? There are about 5 or 6 properties in the city of Santa Monica that I own.
Well, this is the city of Culver City, not the city of Santa Monica, and these people are signing complaints against you.
Is that correct?
Right.
Okay, and I suggest that you check with the people themselves.
Well, here is your property slip.
Okay.
What property you don't have. You're being booked on suspicion of 459, which is burglary and attempt assault.
Right.
What?
I say I am fully aware of that.
Okay. I'm take his handcuffs off and put them on back in the
Would I be going too far to ask for pair of trousers?
We don't have any. Our buddies are going to try to get some for you.
Just a second, please. May I finish talking? Okay. You're the booking sergeant, is that correct?
Right.
Okay, now ask one thing. Would you do me one favor?
What's that?
Call District Attorney of Los Angeles.
You know the district attorney?
No, not directly.
Well, I'm sure that you wait till Monday morning then.
No, I don't think so either. I think perhaps you better call him now.
Take his handcuffs off and put them back in the cell.
Good enough. Have you recorded all this? Okay, hang on. Sergeant,
What is it?
may I say one thing? I asked you, I made a request.
We'll
Correct?
call him Monday morning.
Wait a minute. Before you go any further, I have committed no crimes. Remember this. I have asked for a request to call the district attorney, and you have said no, right?
Take him back.
That's all? Thank you. When you're demoted Monday morning, come see me.
We have moved over here to the Night Watch Commander's office, where he and Sergeant Perkins have been conferring on the many reports necessary in this case. I think we're about ready to clear, right, Sergeant?
In just a minute, Don. By the way, you might be interested in one or two other developments that have occurred.
Really?
A friend of the suspect came to the station a short while ago and brought some clothes for the prisoner.
Mm-hmm.
And incidentally volunteered the information that the suspect did not, to his knowledge, own any of the property he claimed he did during our interrogation.
I see.
And by the way, he also stated the prisoner had been a guest of honor at a stag party given earlier this evening.
Really?
Yeah, he was scheduled to be married tomorrow.
You are listening to Night Watch, the sounds, the voices of your police department in action. Now back to police recorder Don Reed in the field on the Night Watch.
It's well past midnight on the Night Watch, and I'm speaking from the Culver City Police Station. We've been out on patrol until a few moments ago when we were advised to report back to headquarters. Once again, we're returning to the office of the Chief of Detectives, Lieutenant Bob Conlon.
Hi, Lieutenant. Did you call me?
Yes, Perkins. You know we had a homicide here a short time ago.
Yeah, I heard most of the details about it.
I'm working on another angle of the case, and we have two new witnesses. I want you to take their statements, then re-question the murder suspect. When you're finished, report back to me.
Where are the witnesses?
They're waiting in the next office.
Right, Lieutenant. Evening, gentlemen. I'd like to have a statement from both of you. I'd like to talk to you first, if I may, sir. Now, I understand that you met this man in question earlier tonight in a bar. You had a conversation with him. What did you say to him?
I said, come on, have a drink. So he said, all right. He said, what do you have? And he said, whiskey sour. So I went by the whiskey sour, and he said, I'm going to kill that woman. And he looked so nervous, and his big eyes on him. He said, I'm going to kill that woman. I'm going to kill that old man, too, he said.
Did he refer to them by name, or did you know who you
No, I know who he meant. He said, I'm going to kill her. So I knew, I worked with the guy. So he said to me, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill her. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill her, the old man, too, he said. So I said, after all, I said, you got a wife, you got a kid. And I said, your daughter. I said, would you want your kid to think you was a murderer? I tried to plead with the guy and reason with him, see, and trying to be nice with the guy. And he said, no. He said he wouldn't listen to me. He stomped out the side door, and that's all I saw of the man.
Has this man ever threatened her before? You know?
Yes, he did. He told me he was going to kill her before. He told me that.
Well, I'll tell you what I would like to have you do is to write down in your own words just exactly what you told us here, and so that we can use it on the coroner's inquest. Now, as the second witness, I'd like to have your statement, please. How long have you known this man?
Well, I say I know him around about 12 or 15 years.
About 12 or 15 years. Have you ever heard him threaten to kill this woman before? Or to hurt her in any way?
Yes.
What words did he use? Do you remember any of the words? Or how he expressed
Well,
it?
he says he called her wino. He says, I'll kill that old drunk wino some of these days if she don't get to doing better. And I said, ask him why. I says, you're a mere rumor in her house. He says, I'm trying to raise her up and build her up to do something right. I said, you can't do it by killing her.
How long ago was this?
Well, that's about the last week.
About last week. And what else did he say?
He said to me, I think it was Thursday. He was going around after a while, walked around with a 2x4 as a cane. So he had come kind of a spell. He fell down on the floor like he had a heart attack. Well, I picked him up, and got him on his feet, and took him over to the first aid room and let him lay down on the bed. He said, that old bag of bones is the killing my life. He says, she's a ruin. He said, I'm going to kill her. I'm going to kill her. It was the last thing I ever do. I told him, I said, listen, I said, you've got 2 children. You've got a boy that's grown up. And you've got a girl that's about 12 years old. I said, don't you ever think about them? I said, why don't you walk up and do like I would do, or anybody else should do?
He has committed physical violence on her before.
Oh, yes.
Well, I'll tell you what I'd like to have you do, if you'll do the same as this other gentleman, and just write down in your own words just what you've told us here, so that we can use it in the coroner's inquest.
The 2 witnesses are going into another room to put their statements on paper. In just a moment, the suspect will be brought into the office. After listening to the statements of the 2 men, the irony of this case becomes apparent. As you noted, the testimony dealt with the man in question threatening to commit violence on a woman acquaintance. But in the subsequent chain of events, it was the man who was shot and killed by his woman companion. As a result, it is she that is being held on a charge of homicide. Glancing down the hall, I can see that the suspect is arriving in custody of a matron, and that means that Sergeant Perkins will continue the investigation.
Can you sit down over here, please?
Right there, ma'am. There you are. Now, I'd like to have you tell me in your own words just exactly what happened last night. This man that involved, did he come to your house earlier in the evening first?
I don't know if he did, but this is what I did to start early. I went around and turned all my lights on like I do to try to keep them scared away. And I put my kittens to bed early because I have to take them to the garage. I got them in and locked the door and got in. So then naturally I don't figure to get out no more. I'm afraid to even go out in my yard. And I was going to take a bath. And something, I don't know, I just felt afraid to even strip off because I never know when he's going to be at the door, and I just seem to have that feeling. So I decided, well, I'll soak my feet and then I'll take my bath and shampoo my hair in the morning. So I got up to go in the kitchen to fix some coffee, because I always drink coffee again after dinner. And I'm in there, and I had this light right in that patio there by the kitchen. And all of a sudden the light went off. You just turn it like that. But I could see him clear, just right there in my face. And began to threaten me. And
What did he tell you? Did he threaten to kill you? Or did
Sure, he says, I've come to get you tonight. He's been telling me that over and over. He says, I told you I was going to get you, and I've come to get you. And I said, will you please go away and leave us alone? I said, you're just asking for trouble. And he called me all names and for me to get out of there and shut my mouth. And I said, well, I'm not going to. You go away. And I made the remark then. I said, I've got a gun too, so I said I wouldn't talk like that. And I figured maybe he got afraid, and he went up the wall and started up the street, and then he had his car that time, and he sat there for quite a while. I opened the front door. The screen door was open. I opened the front door and stood there. and waited until he pulled off. But I'd say he sat there a good 10 minutes, or it seemed that long or more. And then he pulled off. He come right back again then.
This was the third time he
That was
came
the
back.
third time. And then he come to this other window.
This is the window on the driveway in the bedroom.
Yes, sir. He came to that one.
Where were you at that time?
I was in my room. I had already stripped off, and I was sitting on my bed. And
That is in the front bedroom.
Yes. I thought, well, I've got to go in there and see if I can get him going again. And I went in and I talked to him, and he said, I'm coming in after you. I remember hearing the screen hit the cement. So he must have had it pulled out, like, you know, how you can pull out a screen. And so I kept talking to him. He said he wasn't leaving, he was coming in. And I said, I've got a gun here. And I even showed it. I held it right out in front.
Where was the gun at that time?
It was laying right there on that dresser, right by the window. I said, see, I've got a gun in my hand. I said, if you try to come in, I'll shoot. He said, anyway, I'm coming in after you. And he kept on coming.
Did he start to come into the window then?
That's when he started to make his lunch in, and I pulled the trigger, and the first one, I don't know where yet it went. It went haywire. It must have. And I thought it went in the house. And then I pulled again, and then he started cursing me. And
he fired the gun 2 times, is that correct?
That's right.
And how far away were you from him at the time that you fired? About 3 feet away?
Couldn't have been any farther than that, I don't think.
Well, after you fired the shots, what did he do then? Did he?
He started cursing me, and then he takes off up the drive to the front door. And the door was sounding like it was coming off the hinges or something, you know. I didn't even know I'd hit him. And I come up, and the porch light was on, and I looked, and he was at the door, you know, and that was where the noise coming from. But just about the time I got there, he just went back like that.
He fell back, did he?
He fell back.
And he collapsed on the front porch
Right there. I must have hit him because he fell.
And then did you call the police after that?
Yes.
And then the radio car came, is that it?
Outside, so they came.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much.
It's 1:45 a.m., and we're back here in the office of Lieutenant Conlon, where he's been studying the statements given by the 2 witnesses that Sergeant Perkins interviewed a short while ago. Well, does that wrap up the case, Lieutenant?
Yeah, Don, that's about it. Sometimes a police investigation may point up a person's guilt or clear them of any connection with a crime. Or, still again, as in this case, may tend to show the suspect's action to be justified.
Well, with that, it just means completing formal reports and submitting them to the district attorney for action. From then on, it's up to the courts.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have been listening to the actual confession of a murderer on The Night Watch, brought to you through the cooperation of the Police Department of Culver City, California. W.N. Hildebrand, Chief. Tonight, you have heard 2 cases as they happened, and for their final disposition, we take you now to Police Headquarters and Chief Hildebrand.
In the case of the prowler tonight, he was subsequently booked for violation of 459 of the Penal Code, which is burglary, and Section 240 of the Penal Code, assault, the penalty of which is 1 to 15 years in the state's prison for burglary or up to 6 months in the county jail for assault upon conviction. In the case of the homicide involving the woman who shot the man as he attempted to break into her home, the Detective Bureau under Lieutenant Bob Conlon submitted their reports and testimony to the Los Angeles County coroner at the inquest, where a verdict of justifiable homicide was rendered. In turn, the suspect was released from custody. My department is cooperating in bringing you the activities of the Night Watch in the interest of public security. No police department can be effective without the combined efforts of the citizens and the realization of the problems encountered by their officers. If through this program our department can further that cause, then our efforts shall be well rewarded in bringing you the Night Watch.
Thank you, Chief Hildebrand. You have just heard, through the medium of radio, on-the-scene reports of your police force in action. Every voice, every sound has been real. Night Watch is supervised for CBS Radio by Sterling Tracy, with technical advice by Police Sergeant Ron Perkins, and voiced in the field by police recorder Don Reed.
It's 2:30 a.m., having just returned to the police garage with our tour of duty completed.
Control 1 to 5-4, you clear?
Excuse me, Don. Roger, Control 1. 5-4 reporting out of service.
Check 5-4, 2:31 a.m., and the night watch.
This is the CBS Radio Network.